There's a truth that if you apply it to your life can make you almost impossible to resist for the vast majority of women. Have you ever asked yourself why some men seem to naturally attract attention while others struggle to even get noticed? In this piece we'll break down that secret, and once you fully understand it, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Stick with me to the end, because there's a final insight that will reshape your entire approach to women and self-confidence. From a young age, many men were taught to follow a certain formula. Be kind, be supportive, always say yes, and make sure she's happy. The idea was that if you were the good guy, eventually you'd be rewarded with her affection. Unfortunately, this mindset doesn't always work the way we were told. While kindness and empathy are valuable qualities, constantly seeking approval or validation doesn't ignite attraction. In fact, it can do the opposite. A man who centers his actions around pleasing others often loses the core of who he is, and when that happens, he becomes less magnetic. It's not that being nice is bad. The issue lies in being too available, too agreeable, too eager to win someone over. That energy, while well-intentioned, doesn't stir the emotional chemistry women are wired to respond to. Instead, the men who seem effortlessly attractive often carry themselves differently. They're not rude, cold, or dismissive, but they do hold their own. They know what they stand for. They don't bend over backward to be liked, and they definitely don't seek external validation to feel whole. To help illustrate this, let's use a powerful metaphor: the deer and the lion. The deer represents the man who constantly chases, always offers help, never disagrees, and lives in fear of upsetting her. His life revolves around trying to be what he thinks she wants. While he may come off as sweet or reliable, he often fades into the background. He's too easy to figure out. There's no edge. The lion, however, is a different story. He doesn't chase, he's chased. His presence alone speaks volumes. He doesn't need to broadcast his worth, because it radiates from how he walks, talks, and moves through the world. The lion lives with direction. He's driven by a greater purpose, whether that's his career, his values, or his vision for life. And because of that, his time is precious. He's not always available, and that makes his attention feel earned, not given. What makes the lion irresistible is his balance of confidence and mystery. He doesn't need to win her over because he's already fulfilled in himself, and that energy is what draws people to him. Now, let's explore why this dynamic works by understanding some key differences. The man who constantly tries to please is usually drained. His focus is external, and he rarely leaves space for mystery. Women are drawn to men whose confidence isn't dependent on others, those who walk through life with inner certainty. Another critical difference lies in authenticity. The deer tends to adjust himself to match what he thinks others expect. The lion, however, embraces who he is. He doesn't pretend, and that truthfulness, that unfiltered presence, is what creates emotional gravity. Then comes the power of boundaries. The deer often says yes out of fear. Fear of losing her, fear of missing out, fear of judgment. The lion has no problem saying no. He knows what aligns with him and what doesn't. That level of self-respect earns respect from others too. Confidence is also key. While the deer might try to fake it through forced charm or exaggerated behavior, the lion's self-assurance comes from doing the internal work. He accepts himself fully, flaws and all. Because of that, he's grounded. Lastly, unpredictability plays a huge role. The deer's pattern is clear, always present, always eager, always the same. The lion is a little more enigmatic, not in a manipulative way, but in a natural, effortless rhythm that keeps interest alive. It keeps her curious. It's important to note, being the deer doesn't make someone weak or bad. It just means his energy isn't sparking interest. Women don't necessarily want a man who's always there and always agreeable. They want someone real, someone alive with purpose. And purpose, whether it's a personal mission, a passion, or a calling, is what gives the lion his gravity. It's not about having everything figured out. It's about having something that fuels you, something that centers you when the world gets chaotic. This shift from deer to lion isn't about becoming arrogant or distant. It's about reclaiming your sense of self. It's about setting your own standards, living with direction, and trusting your value without having to prove it. When you stop seeking approval and start embodying your values, your energy changes. People notice it. Women feel it. You become a presence, not a performance. So if you've been identifying more with the deer, take heart. Change is always possible. You don't have to change who you are. You just have to shift how you show up. Begin by honoring your boundaries. Say no when it feels right. Pursue what inspires you. Be willing to walk away from things that don't align. Authenticity is what makes you powerful, and when you begin showing up in your life with that kind of truth, you'll naturally draw in people who resonate with it, including women who see you not as someone who needs their validation, but as someone who knows his worth. That's when attraction becomes effortless. That's when you stop chasing and start choosing. So step forward with intention, live with direction, and remember, you don't need to become the lion. You already are. You just have to let him lead.